This is not a normal you can understand because we're not going to be opening the works of Shakespeare today. Instead, we're going to be going to a different poet who wrote a different sonnet. Today is John Donne, Holy Sonnet 14. It's appropriate because today is Good Friday, the day when Christians all over the world commemorate the day that Jesus died. The Holy Sonnets are John Donne's relation of his inner spiritual turmoil, his tearing back and forth between the flesh and the spirit, his temptations towards lowly sins, and his aspirations towards God. Let's hop into it. Batter my heart, three-personed God. For you as yet but knock, breathe, shine, and seek to mend, that I may rise and stand, or throw me, and bend your force to break, blow, burn, and make me new. I, like an usurped town to another do, labor to admit you, but oh, to no end. Reason, your viceroy in me should defend, but is captive, and proves weak or untrue. Yet dearly I love you, and would be loved fain, but am betrothed unto your enemy. Divorce me, untie or break that knot again. Take me to you, imprison me, for I, except you enthrall me, never shall be free, nor ever chaste, except you ravish me. Let's break this apart. The very first line that we want to be looking at, batter my heart, three-person God. It's an invocation for God to assault his heart. The language here, you may have noticed, is very violent. He wants God to rip him away from something else. He wants his heart to be battered. It can't be gentle. It has to be taken by force. Now, that first word, batter, the emphasis is on bat and not er. Now, this should be iambic, which is an unstressed and then stressed syllable. Instead, this is a trochaic rhythm, so automatically he's assaulting us, because the word batter assaults us. Batter my heart instead of batter my heart, three-person God. So he's going to do that to really grab our attention. Now, when he says three-personed God, he's referring to the Trinity. The idea in Christianity is that there's one God, but there's three persons within that God who form a Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Despite the fact that they are three separate persons, they are, in fact, one God. It's a great mystery. In fact, it's the central mystery. So we know he's addressing the Christian God, and that is going to categorize how we should read the rest of this. So he says, batter my heart, three-person God. For you as yet but knock, breathe, shine, and seek to mend. So what God is doing is he's standing at the door of the heart and knocking. This is from Revelation, the last book of the Bible, asking to be let in. He's breathing. Now, the breath should be invoking the Holy Spirit, the third person of the Trinity. We get spirit from the same thing, from the same Latin word spiritus, which might mean exhalation. It's where we also get inspiration. Inspiration means you have breathed in a spirit and it's inspired you. It's created new life. So he's knocking at the door, attempting to enter. He's breathing out life. He's shining with the glory of the manifestation. He's seeking to mend. He wants to heal and fix and join together something that is not any of those things. What could it be? Probably the poet's heart. So he's saying, why should you do this? That I may rise and stand, or throw me and bend your force. So there's a paradox here. And this is going to be happening throughout the entirety of the poem. The poet wants to rise and stand. These are symbols of being upright, of being dignified, of being free. Those who can stand, those who can rise. We have the idea that heaven is up. We have the idea that redemption is a moving up. So for him to rise and stand, he has to be bowed down. He says, how will this accomplish? That I may do this? Or throw me. Literally overthrow me. You overthrow someone when you take control from them. You overthrow a king, for example. Bend me and bend your force to break, blow, burn. These are violent verbs. He wants God's force, because this is addressed, the you in this is God. He says, God, take your force and break, blow, burn. What's the purpose of all this? It's to make me new. Now, it is break, blow, burn. It's battering, because whatever position he's in needs to be destroyed. It's not that he himself needs to be destroyed, but he has to undergo this ripping away of something. Later, the language we're going to use is like divorce. He has to undergo a divorce from his sinful nature. His heart loves these things that are keeping him from God. And so in order to turn to God, so he may fully rise and stand and not be a slave to his passions or a slave to sin or to the devil or whatever you may have, he needs to be broken. He needs to be blown away, burned up. And that burn can also be the Holy Spirit, which is commonly symbolized by fire, like at Pentecost. The goal is to make me new. So already these first four lines are establishing the poet's prayer directed to God, saying, break me, destroy me, burn me up, overthrow me, so that I am not ruling, but you are ruling. Why? So I may be made new, and I may rise and stand. So now he's going to go into an analogy. He says, I, like an usurped town to another do, labor to admit you. So an usurped town is a town that has been taken over by someone who is not the rightful ruler. If you have a king and someone deposes him, throws him off the throne, that king has been usurped. So he's a town that has been taken over. To another due, that's meaning, again, the town has been usurped by someone else aside from you. If you are due to another, then that means that you're sort of betrothed to them, right? My intended is another word for your fiance. So he's like, I'm a town that's due for another, and I labor to admit you. Labor is hard work. I struggle to admit you in, to give you admittance, to let you into the town. So if my body, if my life is a town, it's been taken over by a leader that is not you, God. I'm due for another, and I struggle to let you into my town to be the ruler of it, right? So he says, I labor to admit you, but oh, to no end. So that labor that he's struggling for, he says, but oh, that's sort of a cry of emotion. He says, to no end. He does not accomplish this. Reason, your viceroy in me should defend. Now, there's this idea that God is supremely rational. In fact, a Greek word to describe the second person of the Trinity, Jesus, is logos. It's where we get the word logic. It is the form and pattern in which and through which everything is created. So when we read the Gospel of John, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, the Greek translation would be logos. In the beginning was the logos. Now, reason is what makes us in God's image and likeness. If you go back to Genesis, it is because we've been given consciousness. We've been given the ability to reason. This sets us apart from the animals. They can be intelligent and they run on instinct. We have instincts. But then we have something else. Like, for example, we write poetry, and there's never been a bee or a dog that has written a poem. There's never been a cat or a whale or a dolphin, who are all very smart creatures, that have then made videos dissecting said poetry. So reason is of God. It's why faith and reason are not opposed to one another, but rather reason leads us into faith. Reason is natural, and faith takes us beyond that. So he says that reason is which is your viceroy in me. It's the idea that we should lead reasonable, rational lives. It's how reason can help us know that there is a God. It is how reason can help guide us to lead virtuous and upright lives. You see, when we are well rational, when we are sane and in our mind and thinking clearly and following our reason, then we are leading ordered lives. It still lacks the supernatural grace, but we're doing pretty good. It's why you might see someone like Socrates, who is a pre-Christian, but a lot of his ideas, which are very rational, point towards Christianity, why Christianity adopted so much of his reasoning. Philosophy and reason is a guide. Now, it's a viceroy. Viceroy would be a type of leader. We're continuing the idea that the poet is a town or a city-state or a nation, right? So this town, this city-state, this nation is being led by another. The king, the proper king, who should be God, has been usurped, probably by the devil, the enemy. And reason, who's the viceroy, who is a person who should step up and be a leader, me should defend. And this could work double duty. I interpret this as that reason should defend me. But it should also be that I should be defending reason. In both cases, he says reason, but is captive and proves weak or untrue. His reason has been captivated, and his reasoning is weak, or he's reasoning falsely. It's untrue. And when this happens, it's where we're justifying our evil ways, right? Anyone can come up with reasons for why they should be doing something bad. So in this case, even though his reason should be guiding him towards doing what's right, guiding him away from these bad attachments, instead, he finds even his sense of reason, which should be something that directs him towards God, is captivated by whatever this sinful attachment is, whatever this dominance by evil in his life is. And even when reason does appear, it's weak reasoning, or it's untrue reasoning. He comes in, yet dearly I love you. And this is important because this is the crux of the whole poem. This is why he's writing the poem. That despite the fact that he is captivated by some evil, despite the fact that he struggles to let God in, he's making this prayer, this poem, because he says, dearly, I love you. And would be loved, fain. Fain means gladly. So I love you, and I would gladly be loved by you. That's the relationship they're aiming for. What's halting him? But am betrothed unto your enemy. That am betrothed is borrowing the I from the line earlier. So, yet dearly I love you and be loved fain, but am betrothed unto your enemy. Again, he's engaged to your enemy. The enemy there would be all that's opposed to God. So you can think of the devil or the flesh or the world, the fallen world, right? So in this case, I'm betrothed to that. It is literally a marriage agreement that I can't break it. So when he asks, divorce me, he's not saying, God, you divorce me. Rather, he's saying, enact divorce upon me. Break me apart from my betrothed, which is your enemy. Untie or break that knot again. Now, that knot would be the marriage knot when you tie the knot. He has this image first of being an occupied town, and now he has this image of being married to the enemy. And this could be the lust that John Donne talks about in some of his other poems. It could be something else entirely. Whatever it is, he is locked in tight with this. And he's saying, untie or break the knot. Undo my marriage. Why? So that I can be with you, who I love dearly and would gladly be loved by. So he's going to continue these types of paradoxes that he started in the first couple lines. It says, take me to you. Now that's pretty straightforward. I'd like to take me to you. Imprison me. So he's asking to be imprisoned, not by the enemy anymore, but by God. So he says, imprison me, for I, except you enthrall me, never shall be free. There's this paradox. I'll only be free if you imprison me, God. Unless the except you enthrall me, meaning accepting your enthrallment of me happenings, I shall never be free. So let me be imprisoned, let me be enthralled. And enthrall means capture the fascination, the fascinated attention of. So again, there's that capture. It is unless I am captured with awe and attention at you, unless I am imprisoned by you, by love, then I'm not going to be free. And this is a paradox that he wants us to play with. It's the same thing as how he's asking to have his heart battered. He's asking to be overthrown and broken and burned, all to be made new. And then again, this last line follows this as well. Nor ever chaste, except you ravish me. Now, ravish there has a connotation of being roughly handled with love, oftentimes even against your will. So it's this idea of that where ravishment usually has to do with unchastity. He says the only way that I will be chaste is if you ravish me. And this also gives us a clue. In other, as to what occupation this enemy is that John Donne has struggled with, it's probably lust. He talks about lust in some of his other holy sonnets. Of course, there's other sins as well, but that he ends on this, it's kind of telling. So perhaps he's struggling between the spirit and the body, right? So unless I am imprisoned by you, unless I'm captured by you, I'm not going to be free from the things that I don't want to do, right? It's the idea that true freedom does not come with the ability to do with whatever I want, but the ability to choose the good. John Donne, the poet in this poem, can't choose to do good because he's stuck in patterns of sin. He's addicted, literally, to probably unchastity, which is what so many people struggle with today, and this is why this sonnet would be a good poem for them as well. Those who need God to break in and ravish them, lavishly pour out love and affection upon their hearts, to imprison them with his love, to enthrall them with his beauty. That way they can be truly free and truly chaste. This has been Holy Sonnet 14, Batter My Heart, O Three-Person God. Have a blessed Triduum, and thanks for listening.